Huh? You don't have? Okay. Sorry, Sammy. You shouldn't arrange them yet. You should not arrange them. You should just keep the chairs available. Don't arrange the chairs. Keep them available. Okay, we need to start in a minute. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to today's event, the Induction Ceremony public lecture of the Nigerian Academy of Science. And we'll start in a moment. Just want to be sure that we have the technical people ready, but the procession is ready. And we'll kick off in a minute. Okay. And when the procession starts, please I'll ask that we all stand to our feet, if you don't mind. And it's a rather solemn ceremony, even though it's also a happy one. That we all stand to our feet, if you don't mind. Okay, sorry, move those chairs quickly. We're about to start. Okay, do you mind if I ask you all to please start? So, in comes the fellows of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Sammy. What is your fucking push him out to the post for the gym, but where's or not going to sit? I gave my front seat and I told her specifically what to do to stand there. What do you take over from her? Yeah, because you took it, I didn't expect you to come and take it. Find him a front seat. The president cannot be at the back. The oldest fellows cannot be at the back. The youngest look Wale.
This your own. The lecturer will be where? Yeah.
We'll now take the national anthem. You may have your seats. So once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's event, which is the induction ceremony of new fellows of the Nigerian Academy of Science and a public lecture. The Nigerian Academy of Science is the foremost independent scientific body in Nigeria and is the voice of science in Nigeria and also speaks for science in Nigeria outside the country as a representative of the scientific community on the umbrella body for science unions in the world, which is the International Science Council. It's also the representative on the Inter-Academic Partnership, which is the global umbrella body for academies globally. It's also the representative on the Network of African Science Academies. The Academy was founded in 1977 to speak for science, but primarily to promote two ideals. One is to promote the development of science in Nigeria through several of its activities, including that which we are having today, induction of new fellows. It also does several other things like giving awards and prizes to inspire scientific development in the country. Secondly, the Academy uses all of this great knowledge cloud and what else to do what we call science advice, which is the provision of evidence-based advice to the government and other stakeholders on problems that can benefit from scientific solutions. And usually the Academy is extremely beneficial when you look for independent advice that is evidence-based, and particularly on thorny issues with a lot of gray areas, because the Academy serves as a knowledge broker that is able to bridge the gap between the knowledge producers like the universities and the research institutions and the real world where such knowledge is required, like in the policy-making world and even private sector enterprises. The Academy is merit-based, and election to the Academy is strictly by merit. At present, the Academy's elections are limited by a total number of 10. That is that no more than 10 people can be elected per year. And since 1977, that it was founded, there have just been 260 fellows elected, so far. This is why the event of today is a very important one, where distinguished scientists have been inducted into the Fellowship of the Academy of Science based on their achievements, their scientific endeavors that are well recognized and impactful both locally and internationally. And also today we'll be having a public lecture by a fellow of the Academy of Science. And I'll just now go ahead to introduce a few people, especially the eye table, and then the event can proceed. So to my immediate right, I have the lecturer for today in the person of Professor Olatunde Farombi FAS. I'll be relying a bit on memory as to where they're supposed to be seated, because the masks ensure that you can quite recognize people as easily as you want to. So next to him, we have the Academic Secretary for Biological Sciences, Professor Sunday Atawodi FAS. Please note the use of the appellation FAS, which is like the lawyers who use SAN. And after today, the inductees also are fellows, and they will use FAS to show this peak of achievement. And next to Professor Atawodi is the Academic Secretary for Physical Sciences, and that is Professor Olalekan. I'll skip because I'll introduce and hand over the mic shortly. But After that is the Vice President of the Nigerian Academy of Science, Professor Abubakar Sambo FAS. I believe I have the Treasurer of the Academy, and that is Professor Kaide Adebowale FAS. And I think that is Professor Babajide Alo, who is the Foreign Secretary FAS. And the Public Affairs Secretary of the Academy, Professor Musba Akonji FAS. Also, not on the eye table, we have the immediate past president of the Academy seated in front here, person of Professor Mosto Onoha FAS. And I want perhaps the oldest fellow of the Academy in the room, and I'll just introduce him, Professor Alex Acholono FAS. That's the oldest member present today. So now permit me, it's a pleasure to introduce the president of the Nigerian Academy of Science, actually the first president in 44 years, about, first female president, Professor Ekanem Braid FAS.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I welcome you to this very important annual event of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Let me begin by thanking Professor Olatunde Farombi for agreeing to deliver the public lecture today. As indicated in the background information in the program and also indicated by the academic secretary, the Nigerian Academy of Science acts as an independent scientific body with the mandate of advising government on national problems that can be solved by application of science and technology. The Academy also draws attention of government to such problems and assists in solving them. Our secretariat is located in the University of Lagos at the address indicated on the back of the program. However, we are presently developing our land in Abuja. The land was given to us by government, federal government, and when fully developed, the complex will have a science museum, a library, a conferencing complex, and an office complex, as well as some lodging facilities. We hope that it will be developed fully in the nearest future. The land has been fenced, and resource mobilization is now going on to support the project. Fellows of the Academy are very, very busy people, and they are busy all the time in the field. We have a calendar of events for each year, which you will be given, but we also have a strategic plan which we follow. This strategic plan is reviewed and revised annually, and the strategic directions, the objectives, the activities, all guide us towards removing the obstacles on our way as we move forward. Let me give you some insight into a few national problems we are involved in solving right now. We have identified a very fundamental problem, that is a deficit, a big deficit in science education at the primary and secondary school levels in Nigeria. The problem is very glaring, particularly in the rural areas. It affects the knowledge base required for subsequent engagement in research for development. And the Academy is working very hard to influence the development of science at the pre-tertiary level. Fellows are also deeply involved in the national response to COVID-19. While some fellows are serving in various committees in Nigeria and in Africa, other fellows are busy in the laboratories and also busy in various committees, all developing strategies to contain this tiny virus that has humbled the entire world. It's because of this virus that we are having these few people in this hall today. We usually have a lot more, but because of the restrictions recently put down, we have to abide by 50 persons maximum in an enclosed space. Fellows are also members of Church Fund Committee, mandated to set up a research and development foundation that will enable academia, industry, and government operate in a triple helix manner in promoting science for development. Fellows in the Nigerian Academy of Science, fellowship in the Nigerian Academy of Science is not a honorific title. It is a call for action. Your induction today is not like saying, oh, you have achieved so much, you have arrived, so now take this title and go and rest. As is the case in other titles, and sadly in professorship in some instances. Your induction today begins another phase in your life. We are saying you have done well in science. You have done well as a scientist. You have done a great job as a scientist. So, join the academy in doing more by applying your knowledge and expertise in solving national problems. It will therefore not be out of place for you to visit maybe your primary school and secondary school, the ones you attended in those days, and solve some of their science-related problems. It will also not be out of place for you to apply knowledge and expertise in solving some science-related problems in your village. You will be doing all this under the cover of the Nigerian Academy of Science. You can also assist in improving the visibility of the academy by delivering public lectures in your place of work, supported by the academy. You can assist in reviewing papers for a journal, and also participate in the process of attracting grants. And this is heavy. This is where our activities are the most intense. I trust that you will key into one of the problem-solving initiatives of the Academy once you have become a fellow of the Academy. And that will be today, in about 2 hours' time. On behalf of all the fellows of the Academy, I congratulate you all for the significant elevation. Welcome to the fold. I thank all the invitees, who are not very many, for making time out to attend this event. I thank you all for listening, and we look forward to the lecture by Professor Farombi. Thank you.
A citation on Professor Olatunde Farombi, the public lecturer, for today. Please, can you stand? Ebenezer Olatunde Farombi is a professor of biochemistry and molecular toxicology, fellow Royal Society of Chemistry, United Kingdom, fellow Nigerian Academy of Science, Fellow Academy of Toxicological Sciences, USA, Fellow African Academy of Science, and Fellow Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. You can see that we have a highly learned person to give our induction lecture today. He graduated as the overall best student at the DSc and MSc levels in biochemistry from the University of Ibadan. He holds PhD degree in biochemistry from the same university. He was postdoctoral fellow at the Department of Biochemistry, University of Liverpool, UK, and visiting scientist at the Institute of Food Safety and Toxicology, Copenhagen, as well as Institute of Environmental and Occupational Medicine, University of Aarhus, Denmark. Maybe I should remove this. A former head of Department of Biochemistry and Dean, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, University of Ibadan. He is currently the Director, Molecular Drug Metabolism and Toxicology Research Laboratories in the same university, and he currently serves as Vice President of the Society for Free Radical Research. He is the Foundation Chairman of the Editorial Board of the Archives of Basic and Applied Medicine, the official journal of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, University of Ibadan. Professor Farombi's research areas over the past 25 years have been on molecular toxicology, cellular oxidative stress mechanisms, reproductive and environmental toxicology, antioxidant redox biotechnology, nutraceuticals as prophylactic agents, and nutrigenomics, as well as natural product biotechnology. He is known nationally and internationally for his novel works on the elucidation of the biochemical and molecular mechanisms of chemoprevention of phytochemicals in totality. The translational works of Professor Farombi have developed and uniquely promoted indigenous knowledge and new therapeutic signatures relevant in disease conditions, such as viral infections, liver disorders, neurodegeneration disorders, like Parkinson's disease. Worthy of note, his scientific impact nationally and globally has been recognized. For instance, in 2005, he was cited and listed among top 10 productive researchers in University of Ibadan who contributed research articles within a 10-year frame, 1995 to June 2005. And then 10 years later, following the February 2015 inauguration webometric ranking of Nigerian scientists, he was top-rated, ranked #1 Nigerian scientist in the recent US-based Stanford University World Ranking of Scientists. I thought you'd give him a hand for that. Professor Farombi ranks top 1% in toxicology in the world and #1 in Nigeria. He has been visiting professor to Seoul National University, South Korea, between 2005 and 2006. Institute of Nutrition, Friedrich Schiller University of Jena, Germany. University of Chicago, USA, 2010 to 2011. Jackson State University, USA, 2009 to date. Cape Peninsula University of Technology, Cape Town, South Africa, 2011. Indiana University, Bloomington, USA, China Academy of Science Medical Sciences, Beijing, China, 2015, and Georgia Institute of Technology, Atlanta, USA, 2019. He is a recipient of several international fellowships and grants, including UNESCO, MCBN, 1998, IUBMB, 1998 to 2003, WHO Tropical Disease Research, 1998 fellowships, Danish Research Council Grant, 2002, Lady Bank Anthony Cancer Research Grant, 2004, Seoul National University Korea Visiting Professorship Grant, 2005, the MacArthur Foundation Grant for Multidisciplinary Team Research on Chemo Prevention, 2009 and 2012. International Union of Toxicology Fellowship for the 8th Congress of Toxicology in Developing Countries, Bangkok, Thailand. He is a recent recipient of the 2015 Institutional-Based Research and National Research Foundation TEFON grants. A very effective, productive, and innovative researcher, supervisor, mentor, is rich in academic currency, and a university teacher for over 30 years. He has supervised over 100 BSc candidates, 150 MSc candidates, and 27 PhD students in biochemistry and toxicology. He is the supervisor of the adjunct best PhD thesis in the discipline of basic medical sciences within the Nigerian University system during 2009 assessment by the National University Commissions. More recently, he has supervised the best PhD thesis in the University of Ibadan, that is in 2018. 6 of his former postgraduate students are now full professors in various universities in the country. He has published 270 scientific articles in reputable international journals, 18 chapters in books, and given over 100 invited lectures in countries spanning 4 continents of the world. Professor Farombi has recently edited a book titled Nutritional Antioxidant in Cancer and Degenerative Diseases. A well-read, highly cited multidisciplinary and translational scientist, he has collaborated with over 50 scientists across the globe, with Google Scholar H Index of 52, I-10 Index of 197, and 11,400 citations. He is highly visible and well represented on ResearchGate with scores of 39.04 and 50,057 reads. A clear attestation of wide readership internationally and global impact of his publications in the international scientific community. Professor Farombi was honored with the Outstanding Research Award for Commitment and Outstanding Contribution to Research and Innovation in the University of Ibadan in 2016, and featured in the University of Ibadan Roll of Honor of Researchers with highest research output in 2017. A toxicologist of note, Professor Farombi was the winner and recipient by open international competition of the 2014 Society of Toxicology Global Senior Toxicology Award for his outstanding contribution to the science of toxicology globally. He is married to Dr. Temitope Farombi, a consultant neurologist at the Geriatric Center, University College Hospital, Ibadan, and the founder of Brain Health Initiative of Nigeria, and they are blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Professor Farombi as he gives this year's induction lecture.
The president of the Nigerian Academy of Science, Professor Emmanuel, the vice president, Professor Abubakar, academic secretaries, distinguished council members, and the past president, Professor Mosto Onoa. And let me also recognize one of our ancestors in the academy that is represented today by Professor Acholonu, and the distinguished fellows and ladies and gentlemen, and all courtesies duly extended. I am grateful to God and highly honored to have been called to give this year the public lecture. I believe that some other more brilliant and more senior fellows could have been asked to do this, and I do not take this for granted. And let me just start. I don't know where to stand. Maybe I should just stand here. So let me just go straight to the lecture as we have it today. I always like to show this side because of the collaboration the scientists and these security teams. And the one in my research laboratory at the University of Ibadan were involved in nutrigenomic research with spring phytochemicals and antioxidants and anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer agents for their properties. We are also involved with the cellular and molecular toxicology mechanisms of the plant-based chemotherapeutic drugs, and we are involved in the mechanistic action trying to elucidate the molecular mechanism of action of the chemopreventive agents and their role in diseases, exploiting signal transduction network. We have this topic, science, medicine, and the society, the three intricate nexus in the development of the therapeutic signature, and we have this nexus. Now, there is an interface or a nexus where science meets the society. And this title of the lecture, you can ask several questions because it can be approached from several perspectives and angles. One, this question is pertinent. Does the nexus refer to the manner in which scientific advances address the human needs? Does it refer to the role of the scientists themselves, the role they play in various sectors of the society, especially the government? Is it the nexus, is it in connection with the scientific viewpoints and influence of the scientists on public policy and debates and the media? Or is the impact of the science, does it exert on other aspects of the society such as national security, economic prosperity, and healthcare? If you say yes to any of these questions, you are correct. But for today, and in order to narrow the topic because it's a big and wide topic, we'll be considering this aspect and especially how science meets the society in the area of the health care. And I'd like to start by saying that there is a huge burden of the diseases all over the world, especially chronic diseases like cardiovascular disorder, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes, and etc. And from projection in 2005, about 58 million people die from chronic diseases. And you can see this, HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, all of them combined together, they are not even up to half of the chronic diseases like cardiovascular disorders, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes. And 60% of all deaths in chronic diseases took place in 2005. The recent statistics in 2020, it has moved to 70%. And in Nigeria, chronic diseases was projected to be about 24%, and that accounted for a death of various people who suffer the chronic diseases. This is a report from the World Health Organization. Chronic diseases have a serious economic impact on society, on individuals, on various communities. In year 2005, Nigeria lost about $400 million in national income from premature deaths arising from heart diseases, stroke, and diabetes. And it has been projected recently that in the next 10 years, Nigeria stands to lose $8 billion from premature deaths due to all these diseases. And the chronic disease, as we can see, have a significant effect on life expectancy. All right, Nigeria has one of the lowest life expectancy in the whole world. It's about 55 years now, and for female and 54 for male. Therefore, anybody who is 60 or 70 in Nigeria today, we can say congratulations to him. And like our ancestor that is very old and to still be alive, and as far as this years of life expectancy, we can see congratulations because it is quite a bad in this country. Now, there are risk factors for chronic diseases like poverty, inability of the government to spend, the presence of the corrupt government officials, low level of education, and because of the widespread activities of the HIV/AIDS, and also exposure to environmental chemicals, environmental compounds, particulate matters like air pollution. You have the cigarette smoke, and also diesel exhaust particles from worn-out engines, buses, and trucks, and the diesel generators. And it has been estimated that about 55% of cancer deaths are as a result of exposure to diesel exhaust particles. And here, diesel exhaust particles, for instance, contains benzene, and that has been implicated in leukemia, and that is a cancer of the blood. It also contains the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons that have also been implicated in the lung cancer. And we demonstrate this in a big blue rat where we expose them to orally to diesel exhaust particles, and that causes significant DNA damage in the lungs, and that is on the way to lung cancer. About 40 to 50% of all the cancer have been attributed to diet. And here we have a diet-related cancer, and today we'll be talking about the way out and how we can actually protect ourselves from them. Examples of the dietary chemicals and carcinogens include the mycotoxins, aflatoxins found in West Africa and in Nigeria, especially fumonisin and ochratoxins present in the South Africa, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons exemplified by benzoate pyrene, 712-dimethyl anthracene, and they are present in various diets, and nitroso compounds, the nitrosamines, dimethyl nitrosamines, and they are also present and generated also from excessive consumption of red meat. And we also have the risk factors for hepatocellular carcinoma, hepatitis B, and the C infection. Their studies have shown that there is a synergistic interaction between hepatitis B infection and the aflatoxin contamination. Therefore, in the development of hepatocellular carcinoma, in a country like this where you have the high level of humidity and the presence of contamination with aflatoxin and the exposure to hepatitis B and C virus through sexual contact and a number of things, there is a synergistic interaction, and that has been implicated in hepatocellular carcinoma, that is a liver cancer. So you have contamination with Fusarium and the penicillin and the diplodia in the maize that people consume. And also excessive consumption of the barbecue products and the charcoal grillings, the generate polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and also high intake of the benzodiazepine have been found in the high-fat diet. High-fat diet also specialized in McDonald's and all sorts of food, and that has been implicated in the development of the colon cancer and the colorectal cancer. Now, we showed and we demonstrated that benzodiazepine, the representative of a polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, is capable of inducing oxidative stress and also to interfere with a number of the signal transduction cascades that are responsible and involved in inflammation-associated colorectal cancer. Now, we also have the exposure in the South-South, the Niger Delta region, to burning like a crude oil. We have the occupational exposure, those who work there. We have also food chain contamination. We have the oral routes via drinking water. And some also even believe in applying this to their body. We have the dermal application. We also have a treatment of the bones is used ignorantly to treat the bones. And you also have those who are involved in oil pumping. They are unduly exposed to burning like a crude oil with a lot of the toxicity and a direct epithelial aspect of the system. And of course, pollution via oil spillage. And so, all these compounds, the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, these will exhaust the particles. They are capable of generating and producing free radicals in the body. And just as Lester Packard said, a distinguished professor of the free radical all over the world, well respected, said that the free radical reactions in our body is as a result, it's like we are being irradiated all the time and at the low level, and they decline us that. The question is there any solution? Because 80% of the premature deaths have disease, stroke, and diabetes, and 40% of all cancer, they can be prevented through several ways. And one is by lifestyle changes, healthy diet, to eat correctly, and not to eat and be exposed unduly to those compounds that are likely going to generate the free radicals in the system. And a regular physical activity, sedentary lifestyle is not encouraged, and also avoidance of the tobacco products and exposure to environmental chemicals that we have highlighted before. And number two, solution is treatment when the disease has occurred for those who are diabetic, for those who have a cancer, is to actually use therapeutic drugs to actually treat them. But this is a good, but some of these drugs they are not that effective, and some of them have severe side effects, and therefore they are not really safe. Some of them are too expensive for people to actually buy. You find that those who have the prostate cancer or ovarian cancer, they spend about almost 200,000 naira per week just to buy drugs. And some of these drugs they have severe side effects, and most times some of them are not even accessible. That has therefore necessitated the search for complementary and alternative therapeutic signatures from natural sources with little or no toxicity, easily accessible, and at the same time very, very effective. And that brings us to the concept of a preventive medicine. We have a primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. Primary prevention seeks to avoid disease before it develops, and secondary detection is the early detection of disease before symptoms appear, and that is why regular checkup is very important for women to do regular checkup for ovarian cancer, and also papilloma virus, and also meant to also do prostate cancer test to check for prostate serum antigen level yearly, especially when you are by the age of 40 or 50 and you are close to 60. You need to do that. Then you also have the tertiary prevention, which is not a good. That is an attempt to stop or limit the spread of the disease. that is like a message after death. But this morning, I introduced you to an important concept, a novel concept, which was conceptualized by Michael Espon in the early 1980s, when it was doing research on the carotenoids, on various forms of the cancer. And the concept of the chemo prevention is relatively new, and it started with this man, and today it started with cancer, but it is being applied to other aspects of the sickness and diseases. And what is the chemo prevention? Simply defined is the use of a non-toxic compounds or regimen, or natural products, or synthetic compounds, whatever, or a combination of the whole, to limit, to delay, to attenuate, or to postpone, or mitigate the multi-step process of the cancer and the other chronic diseases. That is just the basic concept of chemo prevention. And therefore, chemo prevention via pharmacological intervention increases lifespan of individual by delay mortality. Chemo prevention decreases incidence of a disease such as a cancer and all other forms of diseases. Now, you are natural sources of the chemo preventives. These are natural sources of these are just representatives. They are quite many. And inside of these chemo preventives contain what you call antioxidants. The antioxidants, the more or less represents the body defense system. And when your antioxidant status and your antioxidant level is good and is okay, you are able to counter that and fight again and ward off the noxious effect of the free radicals that usually drive us down in the system. And they are present in fruits and the vegetables, and sometimes they can also be converted into form of a supplement. And also, there's a need to identify new and novel therapeutic signatures from medicinal plants, and with the recent advances in analytical technology, especially in biological sciences, many bioactive chemical compounds have been identified in plants of foodstuff through phytochemical and the pharmacological studies. And examples of some of those compounds are these. You have the curcumin. Curcumin isolated from turmeric. Turmeric was very popular even the last 1 to 3 years on account of those who are able to fight the COVID-19 by boiling turmeric with some other things. It's a this is the active compound that is there in the turmeric, responsible for whatever activity that you are able to get. You have the capsaicin from chili pepper. You have a cysteine thereof from ginger. You have a Adekunle garlic from the green tea. You have a genistein from soybean. You have a lycopene from tomato. Lycopene, for instance, has been implicated in maintenance of the prostate and the prostate cancer, and that is abundantly present in tomato. You have a resveratrol, abundantly present in the grapes, and is an active component of the red wine. And that is what is responsible for the French paradox. In France, they take a lot of the alcohol, they eat a lot of fat and smoke a lot, and yet they do not really develop cardiovascular disorders just like any other nation. And that is why you have the concept of the French paradox. It's as a result of the resveratrol that is present in the red wine. You have the caffeic acid from honey, diallyl sulfide from garlic. You have the cannabinoids from the cruciferous vegetables like the cabbage and the broccoli and the sulforaphane. These are chemical compounds and phytochemicals that have actually been characterized with from this natural process uses of technology. And also quercetin that is present in fruits and also abundantly present in onions, and that has more or less even remained in form of supplements. Then you also have the alpha-tocotrienol. You have several tocotrienols and carotenoids present in the red palm oil that is native to West Africa, and that is also is very, very important. And in the next few minutes, I will take you through a very short journey of trying to talk about the science of some phytochemicals that have been identified and investigated in my laboratory for over 25 years, and also in collaboration with some of my colleagues outside the country, at least in about 4 continents of the world. And the results, we have the carotenoids, alpha-carotenes, beta-carotene, lycopene, and lutein, isolated and characterized from red palm oil, colaviron from Garcinia Pitacola, curcumin from turmeric. You also have epivanodalol from vanilla and amygdalina or bitter leaf, and some phenolic compounds from soybeans. And therefore, during my first postdoctoral entry to the University of Liverpool in England in 1995, I was able to characterize for the first time alpha-carotene and beta-carotene and lutein and zeaxanthin from red palm oil as an antioxidant and prophylactics, both in organic solution and also in phosphatidylcholine and liposomes, and that also compound that is of interest to us is a curcumin, as I've said, from turmeric, and that is what is responsible for the yellow color that is in the curry. And there's also, you have a curcumin supplement, and they're sold all over the place. And here, we were able to show that the curcumin was able to protect against a liver injury and a kidney injury as a result of the presence of as a result of the strong anti-inflammatory property of the curcumin. And ginger is another one, and ginger is so common, we all know about it, we all see, but all we are trying to do today is about the science behind the water we already know. Many of you during COVID, you are asked to take a ginger, to take a turmeric, but you don't know the scientific basis and how actually we came about that. This is actually the science of it. Now, ginger, the active compound there is a cisgingerol. There are other compounds, the 9 gingerols, you also have the paradox, but the most important and very pungent anti-inflammatory agent in ginger is called the cisgingerol, and that has been well investigated. It has strong anti-inflammatory property, antioxidant property, anti-apoptotic property, and anti-cancer property. And I did not also add them, it also add the antibacterial and the antiviral properties. And that is the reason why if you take that during this episode of COVID, you are able to actually, you can be protected before you are actually infected, because inflammation is very, very important in the COVID. Oxidative stress is very, very important there, and this has the opposite effect of the virus. And here, we also able to show some other important properties of ginger. And here we show cisgingerol from ginger improve the testicular function, and it also prevents the ulcerative colitis. And we went further to show the anti-cancer property of the ginger in the mouse model of the colorectal cancer. And they were able to then, we observe significant protection after 26 weeks of the generating or developing the colorectal cancer, and we have a significant effect of cisginger. And therefore, with all these studies, cisginger from ginger more or less qualifies as one of the novel or new therapeutic signatures that is relevant in inflammation-associated colon cancer and the colorectal cancer. Now, we also have the bitter leaf, and through collaboration with some of our colleagues outside the country, we were able to characterize the epivanodalol. Bitter leaf has anti-diabetic effect, antioxidant, anti-cancer, also antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. And here, apart from all the other activities, this is not well known to so many people. We showed here that epivanodalol is affecting the skin melanoma cell line, and this has a potential in the skin-related cancer. Now, we have the soybeans. Many people are taking it, but we do not know the importance of that. We found out that the phenolic extract of soybean attenuated the cisplatin, increased the nephrotoxicity of kidney damage in the rat in animal model. Cisplatin is an anti-cancer compound that is used in the treatment of various tumors, but it has a lot of the side effects, and one of the side effects is a kidney failure or nephrotoxicity. Here, we are able to show that the soy phenolics offer significant protection against the cisplatin-induced kidney injury without compromising the therapeutic efficacy of the cisplatin. in the cancer patient. The study has implications in translational medicine and the patients receiving chemotherapeutic drugs like cisplatin. And I'd like to announce to you, just as academic chemistry when they was reading the profile, this is one of the papers that emanated from the PhD of Martin Edwards and the PhD thesis that was adjudged to be the best PhD thesis in 2009, adjudged by NUC. And Martin Edwards has grown by leaps and bounds. He's a professor of pharmacology now at the University of the Cape Coast in Ghana. Now, this important one, Garcinia cola or bitter cola, everybody knows about it, people like it. It is now even served. If you look at your table, I think the executive secretary of the academy, maybe the president asked them to put bitter cola in the table because they know that I'm going to speak on the bitter cola, because as soon as I entered the auditorium, I saw bitter cola and I've taken one. I've finished one of the seeds just now, and I still have it in my mouth. It's a very, very important. You have been taking it for today. Very briefly, I'm going to explain to all the science of the bitter cola and what the bitter cola can actually do. We cannot talk about it in 1 hour. Even in 1 week, we cannot talk about it. From bitter cola alone, we've been able to produce over 50 master students and at least 30 PhD theses. And from bitter cola alone, we've been able to study with international collaborators in at least 4 continents of the world. So when we are talking about it, the science of it we know, and we know what it can do. And the government should listen to us in order to be able to incorporate this into treatment policy in the country. Now, bitter cola, here it plays a vital role in a traditional ceremony and hospitality. Alright, the Yoruba people are there, the Igbo people are there, it's very present in a naming ceremony, in traditional ceremony. It is believed to promote the longevity. Longevity is associated with it and the traditional. So you have the following traditional uses. It is used in the treatment of liver diseases, in bacterial infection. It is used in the treatment of a cough. If you have cough and you take it, you see the effectiveness. It is used in treatment of a sore throat, in a cold, bronchitis, inflammation, and impotence. In some places, it is used as an aphrodisiac because it exerts sexual potency. In the Cameroon, the neighboring country, they refer to Garcinia cola or bitter cola as a Mr. Fordine. You know the meaning of that. That is what one woman told me in the United States what they use the bitter cola for in Cameroon. So you have these traditional uses amidst the several other uses. Through painstaking experiments and the characterization, cola Byron was isolated and characterized from bitter cola in 1983, and since that time there has been a lot of investigation on this. And you have here the therapeutic value of efficacy of the cola Byron. It inhibits apoptosis, it protects against oxidative damage, it's an inhibitor of a cancer cell proliferation, it's an antioxidant and metachylator, it inhibits a noxious express response protein, it regulates the aberrant transcription factors that are involved in a lot of the diseases, and also has a robust anti-inflammatory compounds. And also, it has an immunomodulatory properties. It boosts the immune system, and it's a very, very effective. This has been proved experimentally. Here we demonstrated colabaron as a very strong anti-inflammatory agent in the colitis, a mass model of colitis using this compound to induce it. Also, we reported that colabaron are protected against the ischemia reperfusion injury. And this study shows the role of Garcinia cola in cardiovascular function and stroke, in the management of stroke. Now, we went further to show the chemo prevention of colabaron in the various liver cancer model, and the but 2 papers emanated from these studies, and they were reported in this important journal, the European Journal of Cancer Prevention, that explained before this one showed its ability to protect against the aflatoxin one that I talked about earlier on the hepatocellular carcinoma and the genotoxicity in the FG2 cells. Now, we went further to demonstrate how does this happen in terms of a molecular mechanism that coronavirus from beta cola enzymes its activity by suppressing noxious expression of proteins like the cyclooxygenase 2 and the inos expression, and also inhibition of some aberrant transcription factors that have been implicated in the development of the cancer, like a nuclear factor kappa and activator protein 1, the mechanistic part. We went further to also look at the neuroprotective potential of coronavirus, neurodegenerative diseases like the Parkinson's disease, like Alzheimer's disease, and the dementia that occur all over the world. Statistics show that there are about 1 billion of individuals all over the world suffer one neurodegenerative disease or the other. And in the United States alone, about 35 million people, all over the world, 35 million people, they suffer from Alzheimer's disease. In the United States, about 4 million people suffer from Alzheimer's disease, and 1 million people from Parkinson's disease, and about 40,000 individuals from temporal dementia. And these are various forms of neurodegenerative diseases. It will cause to people at the age of like 50, 60, and 70. And then you can also begin to check when you are in the kitchen as a woman, you are cooking, and you are looking for your phone in the kitchen. Whereas you left it inside the bedroom, and you are shouting at children, "Where is my phone? Where is my phone?" Dementia is beginning to set in. And then somebody tells you something, and you say, and you are trying to remember. That is dementia, and the memory failure. It's time to begin to actually check at that. Now, one of the things that happen, for example, in the Parkinson's disease, you have the motor symptoms, and that is a tremor, and that is a shaking of the hands, and the bradykinesia. You see some people who have that, their hands just begin to shake. That is a tremor, bradykinesia, and also non-motor symptoms like a depression and unnecessary anxiety. These are the hallmarks of the Parkinson's disease. And our data on the Yersinia coronavirus shows that in the human neuroblastoma cells and the PC12 cells, we were able to show the neuroprotective property of coronavirus, and these are open up a new therapeutic window in neurodegenerative diseases such as the Parkinson's disease. And with this, these compounds also qualifies as an important therapeutic signature that can be incorporated in the treatment of the diseases like this. Then the antiviral property of the coronavirus from beta cola. As I told you before, during the the COVID-19 period, you see everybody say beta cola, and it's not very expensive. It used to be very cheap before, but because several people are eating it, it's now so expensive. Why? Because of some of experience that they have with it. Here, we demonstrated for the very first time that coronavirus prevents the influenza virus infection in the baby mice. Influenza virus is a normal cold. In the United States, they take a jar of vaccine every year, from the flu and from influenza virus. They do that regularly in the United States and some other parts of Europe. We were able to demonstrate that this actually was very effective, and therefore it could be explored clinically as anti-influenza immunomodulatory regimen, especially during the early period of influenza virus outbreak. And therefore we can conveniently say the cause is similar. Coronavirus and beta cola also prospects in the early prevention and management of other viral related illnesses, including COVID-19. And also the paper, these two papers emanated from the studies. They are also part of the papers that emanated from the PhD thesis that was adjoined with the best PhD thesis in the University of Ibadan in the year 2018. Now, we can summarize that it has antiviral properties, antioxidant properties, it is neuroprotective, Also, it down-regulates some noxious transmission factors. There are quite many, but these are the health benefits of Ebola virus. Now, it's important to translate some of these preclinical data and from bench to bedside, because that is actually science can impact the society. The researchers' work should not end in the laboratory or on the shelf. The society should be able to benefit from this. And that brings us to the concept of translational medicine and therapeutics. Translational medicine seeks to improve the human health and longevity by moving preclinical investigations and the discoveries to the bedside of a patient. That is actually that, and you can see translation from basic research, clinical research, and that brings about the improvement in the health of the society and the teeming population. Also, the reverse is also true. Translational research also seeks to promote to bring the clinical observations also back into laboratory investigation. Also, the reverse is also true. So, translational research also bridges the gap between basic and clinical research, and more or less you have the scientific evidence and clinical applications, and that is a compound with the clinical trials. So, translational medicine also involves a diverse areas of discipline, basic and biomedical science, clinical research, health research, health service research, community engagement research, health policy research. It involves life sciences, physical sciences, engineering, and also so it's a multidisciplinary kind of research. So I'll give you, as I try to close, one of the findings that has translated the relevance of Garcinia cola or Beta cola and has brought that to the bedside of a patient. And that is the work that was done on the clinical effects of the Garcinia cola in mini osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is a problem. It happens to men and women, especially women after 40, as a result of the childbirth, loss of the calcium and loss of the phosphorus, and inflammation of the cartilage, and inflammation all over the place. So arthritis is a common. And this study that was conducted demonstrated the efficacy of Garcinia cola in knee osteoarthritis by being helpful and helping the patients that consume that when it was compared with other drugs and a placebo. Here is one of the drugs. You have naproxen and Celebrex. Naproxen and Celebrex, they are two compounds that the doctors normally prescribe to arthritis agent, but you can see the duration of action and effectiveness of the Garcinia cola and naproxen and the Celebrex, they more or less compare in terms of efficacy. This also more or less shows the relevance of the Garcinia cola in the patients who suffer from knee osteoarthritis. Therefore, the conclusion from this study is that it has clinically analgesic and anti-inflammatory effects in knee osteoarthritis patients, and therefore represents a novel therapeutic signature in the management of the osteoarthritis. Very recently, apart from the coronavirus that we have talked about in the last few minutes, we were able to patent last year 4 compounds from the Garcinia cola, and these are new therapeutic signature that we recently patented apart from the coronavirus, and this is rubulocin. Rubulocin is very important. Studies have shown that it is an inhibitor of the HIV-1 integrase enzyme. That is an enzyme that is that plays a pivotal role in the HIV genesis. Squalene is important. They are in terms of the cardiovascular function, celluloeptilose and the detoxin. They also have a very strong and robust anti-inflammatory compounds. We are waiting for the industry and the federal government to further take this further to actually purify and incorporate into form of drugs, development or supplements, very, very useful in these diseases. So, conclusion, coronavirus is a moderator of oxidative stress and inflammation. Oxidative stress and inflammation, they are co-conspirators in the virtually all these diseases that we have talked about. Coronavirus is important in intracellular signaling cascades, and the downregulates pro-inflammatory mediators, colaviron, and new agents that we just talked about from beta-glucan, they therefore qualify as new therapeutic signatures and multi-targeted agents for chemoprevention of the chronic diseases, especially chronic diseases that have the pathologies related to inflammation. So overall, conclusion and recommendation: medicinal plants and herbs, they play a key role in the maintenance of health and management of the chronic diseases, as we have said. Aside from potent and novel phytochemicals in Nigerian foods and plants is a very, very imperative. Researchers in this area are encouraged to do more. Also, mechanism-based studies of these agents are needed in order to be able to identify the compounds. And this is where researchers that are here, mentors are here, and the professors are here in the field to also talk about it and mentor their mentees. Most of the studies that people carry out, especially in Nigerian institutions, they are not mechanistic based. And that is the reason why we are not able to actually do the target. We are scratching it on the surface. The people work on extracts, unpurified extract, uncharacterized extract. Nobody knows what is there. It is like the kind of a thing that they just put together or Babalawo just so it is not. That is not the science of it. It's to actually work so deep and do a lot of research activities and the mechanism. And that is where pharmacologists and biochemists they come in play, because it is biochemists who really understand the mechanism of action of these therapeutics, and that is where most people they collaborate with us because of our discipline. So mechanism or mechanistic approach is very important, and also translational research will then involve a lot of the scientists, because it's a multidisciplinary aspect type of the science, involvement of the chemists, biochemists, toxicologists, pharmacologists, engineers, and clinicians. They were supposed to work together, and we should be able to promote this type of robust interaction and interdisciplinary research. Where the role of researchers, as I said, we should engage in highly competitive and globally relevant cutting-edge research, and not a survivor or ranking research. I have several definitions for various types of research. One of them is a survivor or ranking research. That is the kind of research that most people carry out, especially in a university. They just want to survive. They want to become professor. So lecturer 2, I must become lecturer 1, senior lecturer, I must become professor. Therefore, they do all manner of research that are not actually innovative, they are not benefiting anybody, and they are not affecting people. Only that they want to be promoted. And that is why during assessment, you will see that some people's research activity, there is no focus. Paper 1 does not relate to paper 10. Paper 7 is not connected to 5. 5 is not connected to 17. Today they work with people in chemistry. Today they work with people in agriculture. Tomorrow they put his name in a they just put his name in all sorts of papers. And in some places now they don't mind. They put all these papers together and they assess and they make him professor. I always ask people, when you become professor, what next? What next? You're a professor, and so what? And so what you're a professor? The day I became professor, I examined myself. I did not come to be like in complexion. I did not go to like see the thing the same. So there is no big thing in just becoming a professor by carrying out survivor or ranking a research, which actually should be discouraged in our institutions, and mentors here are supposed to carry the message through. But rather, we should be engaged in translational research, in innovative research, the kind of research that benefits the society. Also, the role of the government officials and its ministries of education, science, and technology, they should not pay the lip service to research by funding research activities. TEDFund and the executive secretary of the TEDFund is one of the fellows, I'm not sure he's here. They should provide necessary funding, especially for the development of new therapeutic signatures from indigenous resources. Africa is blessed, especially in Nigeria, with a lot of indigenous material that are not found outside the country. And our government should leverage on this competitive advantage so that we'll be able to actually fund research and be able to get a new therapeutic signature. The role of the science academies like us, Nigerian Academy of Science, Nigerian Academy of Medicine, the newly established Nigerian Academy of Medicine Specialties, and the Nigerian Academy of Engineering. They should work hand in hand to promote and project translational research for the benefit of the society. So, it has been nice to tailor chemotherapeutic signature for the development of the various chronic diseases that have been highlighted before. I like to acknowledge that these funding organizations that have supported research over the years, and I acknowledge that some of my international collaborators, George Britain of Liverpool, Lars Dragstedt of Denmark, Stephen Locke of Arnold Institute in Copenhagen, Hamad Ultra in Denmark, John Gilsop in South Korea, the #1 Korean scientist, is a near reaching Nobel Prize. I respect him a lot. And the late Beatrice Kuzobel of the University of Vienna in Germany, and my very good friend and collaborator, Professor James Tronick of Indiana University in the United States. And I also want to acknowledge that some of my PhD students, some of them graduated, and we have examples. This represent some of them, and some of my past postgraduate students who also did not wear down their always happy and they work extensively in my extended research network. And I'll leave you with this, the statement of Hippocrates: let food be your medicine, and let medicine be your food. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Once again, Professor Olatunde Farombi FAS. I immediately took the Garcinia cola on the plate in front of me and pocketed it for future use. Thank you, sir. He said it had become expensive, so the free one will be valuable too. Thank you very much, sir. We now come to the induction of fellows, and it's my pleasure to invite the Academy orators in the persons of the academic secretaries, both physical and biological. I think we'll start from the biological scientists, and so I invite Professor Sunday Atawodi.
Thank you, Executive Secretary. The induction will be done in the order in which the names are listed. Professor Bolanle Alake Adeni. Professor Bolanle Adeni, a microbiologist specializing in pharmaceutical microbiology, is the first PhD graduate student from the Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology, Faculty of Pharmacy of the University of Ibadan. She was appointed Professor of Pharmaceutical Microbiology in 2006 at the University of Ibadan. Her research has been in the area of antimicrobial drug discovery, biodegradation, probiotics, and antibiotic resistance. Her research established the efficacy of medicinal and food plants for the treatment and prevention of many diseases due to bacteria, particularly Helicobacter pylori and Mycobacterium species, fungal, viruses, inflammation, and cancer. She has linked through bioactivity guided fractionation, purification characterization with modern spectroscopic techniques and identification, the activities of many medicinal plants as bactericidal, fungicidal, anti-inflammatory, and cytotoxic to bioactive compounds. Her research revealed that ginger, turmeric, and finger root extract reduce bacterial load and suppress inflammation in Mongolian gabions infected with CAGAH, and then Helicobacter pylori. In vivo antifungal studies reviewed formulated plant extract with better activity and significantly lesser side effects to catronazole. Many of these plants are presently being exploited as possible anti-cancer agents and formulated into acceptable dosage forms for diseases. Professor Adeni's study on uropathogenic Klebsiella pneumoniae presented the first report of GTMS M15 positive Klebsiella pneumonia in West Africa and the first genetic characterization of resistant genes from Nigeria in Klebsiella pneumonia. Other studies reviewed the presence of resistance plasmid class 1 integrons, ESBL, aminoglycoside modifying enzymes, and efflux pump regulator genes in testes Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Acinetobacter baumannii. Professor Adeni has over 100 publications, has supervised 8 PhDs, co-supervised 4 PhD, supervised 42 MSc and 72 undergraduate students, some of whom are at professorial cadre. She has obtained funding and award from British Council in 1991, Fulbright Junior Scholar, USA 1995, American Association of University Women, USA 1998 to 1999, International Foundation for Science, Sweden 2000 to 2002, MacArthur Foundation Fellowship 2006, Principal Investigator, MacArthur Foundation Multidisciplinary Research Grant 2007 to 2010, Co-Investigator in WHO Ibadan Team 2 Research 2005 to 2008, Co-Investigator in MacArthur UIC DDPD 2010 to date, and recipient of many University of Ibadan Senior Research Grants. It is in recognition of this scientific achievement that I present Professor Adeni to the President, Nigeria Academy of Science, to be inducted as a fellow.
Professor Olatunde Farombi hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the academy according to its statutes and bylaws.
I require conferred on me. I formally admit you as a fellow of Nigerian Academy of Science.
Professor Emmanuel will be getting ready to come to stage. Please come to stage. Emmanuel is an acknowledged leader in pediatric surgical care delivery in low-resource settings and surgical education in Africa. He has published more than 200 scholarly articles, edited 2 books, and contributed numerous book chapters on pediatric surgical care. His research has contributed to the characterization of common surgical conditions in African children, and this has led to notable improvements in outcomes for neonatal surgery and children with surgical cancers. He recently led a team of 78 surgeons, anesthetists, nurses, and support staff to successfully separate a set of conjoined twins joined at the chest and abdomen, sharing the liver and heart coverings. He has also contributed significantly to building the health system to support safer surgery in Nigeria by leading the very first national surgical obstetrics anesthesia, and nursing plan for Nigeria. This was completed and launched by Nigeria's Federal Ministry of Health in 2019, and its implementation has begun. In recognition of his work, he is chair of the Global Initiative for Children's Surgery, commissioner in Lancet Nigerian Commission. Sorry, can you put that one off, please? And served on the board of governors for the American College of Surgeons. He led the workforce working group in the Lancet Commission on Global Surgery. Emmanuel has built a strong influence in training the next generation of surgeons and pediatric surgeons in Nigeria, including being the direct trainer of 15 certified pediatric surgeons, 3 of whom are now professors of pediatric surgery and are themselves training future generations of pediatric surgeons. In addition, he has been involved in training more than 20 pediatric surgeons from other institutions in Nigeria. He continues to advance pediatric surgical education in Nigeria and is an international leader in advancing the new field of global surgery. It is in recognition of this contribution to science that I present Emmanuel Adoyi to the President of Nigeria Academy of Science to be inducted as a fellow.
I, Professor Emmanuel Olalekan, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the academy according to its statutes and license. By the power conferred on me, I formally accept you as the fellow of the Nigerian Academic of Science.
Professor Olukayode Amun. Professor Olukayode Amun obtained a BSc in biology from the University of Lagos in 1977 in first-class honors. By the way, that was the year the academy was founded. He undertook postgraduate studies at Cranfield University, UK, and obtained a PhD in biotechnology in 1983. He won the National Award, Federal Scholarship, and the National Schools Fund Prize in 1975. He later won the Federal Government Postgraduate Overseas Scholarship in 1980. He also won the UNESCO Short-Term Fellowship for Postdoctoral Studies at Cranfield University in 1991. His academic career started as graduate assistant at the University of Lagos in 1978. On obtaining a PhD, he was appointed lecturer grade 2 and rose through the ranks to become a full professor in 1998. His area of specialization is petroleum microbiology. He has supervised 16 PhD theses to completion, in addition to 51 MSc and 3 MPhil dissertations. His mentees are professors and associate professors in Nigerian universities. His research output includes 120 journal publications, 56 conference papers, 3 book chapters, and 30 gene sequences published at the NCIB in USA. He was a joint beneficiary of some research grants, including the World Bank Step B grant in 2011, PTDF grant in 2012, and the University of Lagos and the Lagos State Government Research and Development grant in 2014. Professor Moon has held several administrative positions at the University of Lagos, including being HOD, Dean and member of the University Council. He is a fellow of the African Academy of Sciences and currently the Vice Chancellor of Elizabeth University, Ilara Mokin. He is married with children and grandchildren. It is in recognition of this scientific achievement that I present Professor Olukayode Amun to the President Nigeria Academy of Science to be inducted as a fellow.
I, Olukayode Amun, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the academy according to its statutes and rights.
By the power conferred on me, I formally accept this as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Sciences.
Professor Joseph Ayo. Professor Joseph Ayo investigated the effect of environmental stress factors on livestock chronophysiology and responses of physiological parameters to adverse effects of the factors. He has elucidated the oxidative stress mechanism of responses to production stressors, which animals are inevitably exposed to during management, and demonstrated the mitigating effect of antioxidants. Other stressor studies based on oxidative stress mechanisms are common environmental toxicants, including pyrophos, decamethrine, nitrates, and lead. He shed light on antioxidant role in mitigating deleterious effects of toxicants on animals due to chronic low-dose exposure. He showed effects of variations in thermal environmental conditions on circadian rhythmicity of physiological parameters and the role of the responses in evaluating livestock microenvironment and livestock welfare under stressful conditions. Professor Ayo has proposed prophylactic approach to the management of stress and its related conditions using natural antioxidants, including vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, melatonin, taurine, L-carnitine, L-glutamate, zinc gluconate, lipoic acid, and probiotics to enhance livestock production. Most of the antioxidants naturally found in the body, relatively non-toxic and accessible to rural livestock farmers in Nigeria, lack residual effect when administered. The findings have led to the development of simple and on-the-spot methods of stress evaluation, including erythrocyte, osmotic flagellity, and behavioral tests in animals subjected to increased oxidative stress due to environmental stressors. He was the head Department of Veterinary Physiology and Pharmacology, Deputy Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and President of the Neuroscience Society of Nigeria. Professor Ayo has published 327 journal articles, co-supervised 52 PhD students, and fellowship projects of 5 resident veterinary doctors. As a matter of fact, on Google Scholar, Professor Ayo's citation exceeded the limit set by Google Scholar. He has reviewed, I thought you give him a hand for that. He received ABU 50th Anniversary Vice Chancellor Merit Award in 2012. In 2017, he was listed as number 17 of 28 most widely published scholars in Nigeria. It is in recognition of this excellent scientific achievement that I present Professor Joseph Olusegun Ayo to the President Nigeria Academy of Science to be inducted as a fellow.
I, Professor Joseph Olusegun Ayo, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the Academy according to its statutes and bylaws.
Confirmed. I formally admit you as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
Professor Adekunle Akim Bakari. Professor Akim Bakari holds BSc, MSc, and PhD degrees in zoology from the University of Ibadan. His area of specialization is genetics, cell and molecular toxicology. He established in his doctoral research the capabilities of chemical mixture in municipal solid waste leachates to cause genetic damage in eukaryotic systems. After the CIIR postdoctoral training on molecular genotoxicology in India, Professor Adekunle has continued to advance knowledge and build human capacities on the use of microbial, plant, animal, and human cells for detection of DNA damage by environmental xenobiotics. His findings on anti-proliferative effect of herb extract on eukaryotic mitosis could be part of the mode of activity of these herbs in traditional medical practice. He has co-authored significant contributions on the molecular mechanisms of insecticide resistance in Anopheles gambier and Anopheles funectus mosquitoes from Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. The multidisciplinary cancer prevention research by Professor Adekunle as an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow in Germany set the pace for his current research initiative on common prevention of environmental DNA damage. He started his career as a graduate assistant at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology of Mombasa in 1994. In 2001, he moved to the University of Ibadan as lecturer 2 and rose through the ranks to become professor in 2013. He has supervised 12 PhDs and more than 100 MSc students. Professor Bakari has published 111 peer-reviewed chapters, articles, and proceedings. He was a sub-dean, postgraduate, director of special duties, office of the vice chancellor, and currently head Department of Zoology, University of Ibadan. He is a fellow of the Zoological Society of Nigeria, president, Genetic Toxicology Association of Nigeria, an expert reviewer and assessor for promotion to professorial cadre, an associate editor of Toxicological Report, which is an Elsevier-based journal. It is in recognition of this scientific achievement that I present Professor Adekunle Akim Bakari to you, President of the Nigerian Academy of Science, to induct him as a fellow of the Academy.
I, Professor Adekunle Akim Bakari, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the Academy according to its statutes and bylaws. By the power conferred on me, I formally admit you as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
I want to forget. I invite Professor Charles Arize Suku Igwe.
Professor Charles Arizeshuku Igwe is a professor of soil science and the current Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. His university education was at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where he obtained his BSc Agric, MSc, and PhD in 1994. And the area is in soil science, specializing in soil conservation and physics. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in soil science from Agricultural University of Arts in Norway. Professor Igwe has served the University of Nigeria in various capacities, including head of department, dean, faculty of agriculture, center director, member of governing council, and a two-term deputy vice chancellor, administration. He has also been a visiting researcher, professor at university located in Germany, Japan, Norway, Italy, and France, and he has successfully supervised many PhD students. Professor Igwe has made significant contribution to our knowledge of the role of organic and mineral colloids in the stability of tropical soils and enhance our ability to successfully deal with unstable tropical soils which undergo catastrophic soil erosion under intensive tropical rainfall regimes. In his persistent to unravel the inherent soil factors influencing erodibility, a key factor of erosion models, he has become widely recognized and acknowledged for his pioneering studies on soil colloidal dispersion and aggregate stability. In the face of global climate change, he has expanded the scope of his research to include the study of carbon sequestration in tropical soils. Professor Charles Igwe is a Norwegian Fellow and Alexander Hubert Fellow in Germany, and a regular associate of International Center for Theoretical Physics, TRESI, and a fellow Japan Society for Promotion of Science, and a winner of UNN's Vice Chancellor's Research Leadership Prize for his faculty in 1992-93, 1993-94, and for the entire university in 2015-2016. Professor Igwe has attracted scientific equipment donations to the university from various organizations and multiple research grants from several international agencies. It is in recognition of his scientific achievement that I present to you the President of Nigeria Academy of Science, Professor Charles Arizeshuku Igwe, for the election into the Academy of Science as a fellow.
I, Professor Charles Arizeshuku Igwe, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the enemy according to these statutes and by law.
Medical control of me. I formally admit you as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
I invite Professor James Chukuma Ubuna. Professor James Chukuma Ubuna graduated with first-class honors degree in botany from University of Jos in 1982. Obtained an Master in Engineering in Fermentation Technology in 1988 from Yamaguchi University, Japan, and a PhD in 1991 from University of Tsukuba, Japan. He is an innovative scientist that has developed and patented an atomizer for mass production of microgel beads, which is used for cell immobilization and drug delivery. This has been commercialized by Marubushi Bioengineering Japan. He has made significant contribution in the area of fermentation of bioprocess technology, especially in the development of bioreactors and bioprocess for cultivation of heterotrophic and autotrophic microorganisms. He has contributed immensely to biotechnology education in Nigeria and has helped to establish a Department of Biotechnology and later a Biotechnology Research Center at Ebonyi State University, serving as its first director of that center. He is currently the director of the National Biotechnology Development Agency Southeast Zonal Biotechnology Center at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where he served as Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics from March 2016 to April 2020. He served as the President of Biotechnology Society of Nigeria between 2010 to 2014 and has successfully supervised 14 PhD, 39 MSc, and 6 PhD degree students. He has attracted many research grants, served as external examiner for 15 universities, external assessors for 12 universities, and either as a member or a chairman of NUC accreditation teams to several universities. With 3 books, 3 co-edited books, 13 book chapters, 110 journal articles, 9 conference proceedings, 120 paper presentations in national and international conferences in over 11 countries. He has demonstrated good academic leadership. Professor Bona is a fellow of the Biotechnology Society of Nigeria and a fellow of Foundation for African Development through International Biotechnology. It is based on this scientific achievement that I present to you President of the Academy of Science, Professor James Chukuma Bona, for induction as a fellow Academy of Science.
One hereby solemnly promise to promote clear and disciplined scientific knowledge, serve the academic political wisdom by law.
Olatunde Farombi, I formally admit you as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
I invite Professor Benjamin Uzosuku. Professor Uzosuku is a professor of public health, health policy and systems, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where he initiated and established the Institute of Public Health and became the founding director. He has acted as a policy advisor and consultant to Nigerian State and Federal Ministry of Health, where he has been involved in the development of state and national strategic health development plans and several national policy documents, and ECOWAS, where he was instrumental in designing the training of military personnel in malaria elimination in the sub-region. He is a leading member in health policy and system research in Nigeria, Africa, and global level, and was a board member of the largest global body of health system experts and practitioners, HHG, with over 200 publications in peer-reviewed journals, including The Lancet. He has been involved in the global burden of disease studies and has contributed significant changes in government health policies. His work on accountability and mechanism for the implementation of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund in Nigeria informed the development of the national guideline for the implementation of the fund in Nigeria. Also, some of his research and publications have been instrumental in health systems strengthening and health sector reforms in Nigeria, impacting on malaria and HIV control, immunization, community participation, and key interventions which preferentially benefit the poorest. He is involved in capacity development in the university and has supervised and mentored over 20 postgraduate doctors for the award of fellowship of the National College and West African College of Physicians. He is currently the National Chairman, Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria, Director, Grants and Research, West African College of Physicians, and member, Ministerial Expert Committee on COVID-19 Health Sector Response in Nigeria. It is in recognition of this scientific achievement that I present Professor Uzo Suku to the President of the Nigerian Academy of Science for induction as a fellow.
I, Professor Benjamin S. Uzo hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the Academy according to its statutes and bylaws.
By the power conferred on me, I formally admit you as a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
Professor Musa Pei Yakubu. Musa Pei Yakubu had all his university education at the University of Ilorin between 1988 and 2006. He joined the university as an assistant lecturer in 1999 and became a professor in 2014. He was head of department between 2012 and 2014, and currently he is the director of Central Research Laboratories at the same university. He directed his research into unlocking the potentials of medicinal plants for sustainable livelihood with respect to sexual and reproductive dysfunction that is availing increasing percentage of our population and causing marital disharmony. His research on aphrodisiac activity of Fadogia agrestis bovine were comprehensive and provided a scientific basis for the acclaimed use of the plants as sex invigorators in normal and sexual dysfunctional rat models. He also explored mechanism of aphrodisiac action of Fadogia agrestis and other plants, including Lecanodiscus capinoides. Furthermore, he scientifically validated that Casmanteria dependence can be used to solve male infertility problems, and also clarified its toxicity concerns. The findings of Professor Yakubu on other plants suggest that their uses as contraceptive and abortifacient, respectively, were valid. He provided comprehensive information on the prevention of ionophores B and C against aflatoxin B1-induced hepatocellular damage. His findings will make the plants potential candidates for possible drug development. Professor Yakubu has more than 160 publications in reputable journals and has mentored several graduate students, including 18 PhD students. It is in recognition of this contribution to science that I present Professor Musa Toyin Yakubu to the President of the Nigerian Academy of Science for induction as a fellow.
I, Professor Musa Toyin Yakubu, hereby solemnly promise to promote, declare, and disseminate scientific knowledge and serve the academy according to its statutes and bylaws.
I formally admit you as the fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Congratulations.
Push it down. Put the button down. Put the button down. Push it down. Push it down.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the President observed in our opening address, this induction ceremony was designed in line with the protocol on COVID-19 that instructed that we should not have more than 50 people in an enclosed environment. If we hope that in future years, the ceremony will be as elaborate as it should be. On behalf of the President, Nigeria Academy of Science, Professor Emmanuel, want to express our profound gratitude to our lecturer of today, Professor Olatunde Farombi FAS, for his stimulating, awakening, and impactful lecture. I've received requests from those who are watching us that we should keep copies of the lecture for them. So I want to implore the Academy to publish the lectures so that it can be widely distributed. We thank you, sir. We want to thank all our guests for honoring our invitation today. We also want to welcome and thank the new fellows for joining us and for making themselves available to be inducted. We want to thank our fellows, our older fellows who are here, especially our past president, Professor Noah FAS. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this occasion. We also want to thank all the fellows who are watching us virtually all over the world. We appreciate your joining us to be part of this event. We are grateful to all our friends and admirers. We want to especially thank the Secretariat, ably led by the Executive Secretary, Dr. Dwayne Dokubanjo, for putting this program and all the other programs of the Academy together perfectly. We thank everybody for coming, and we hope that you join us in future years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we come to the end, as they say, even good things come to an end. So it's been a good ceremony, and this is how we'll close. We'll stand and take the national anthem one more time, and then the fellows will go on the procession again, starting with the high table, and then the other fellows will follow, including those inducted today. And as you go, it will be to the front of your hotel for a group photograph. Also note that there'll be refreshment in this room for guests, while the fellows will get a lunch ticket for lunch. So thank you very much, and I ask that we all stand for the national anthem. I think we'll just sing it. Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland, with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much for the procession of the fellows. And while we do that, I ask everybody to please stay standing where you are and allow them to go out first. Thank you. Please follow, sir. The new shadow space. Thank you all very much, and have a lovely day.